How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. I want to talk today about why it's so important to clean house, to get all this stuff out of your house before you quit drinking. It's good to start off with, strength and, feeling that you're invincible and that you're going to do this and that nothing's going to go wrong. But you've only so much willpower, right? You've only got a small smidgen in terms of your overall energy capacity, and you've got to use it wisely. And there's no point in really trying to tempt fate, by having stuff hanging around and staring you in the face. No matter how much you think that it's a good testament to your willpower and how strong your willpower is, and how strong you are as a person. There's better areas in your life that you can use this willpower. As I say, quitting drinking is not about just getting rid of the alcohol out of your body. It's about getting rid of the alcohol thinking out of your life, the alcohol lifestyle. It's about making changes in a variety of different areas of your life, and it's in those changes, those widespread changes that you're going to have to make, that you're going to need your willpower, to keep yourself going. One of the best ways of overcoming cravings is just not to see the craving in the first place, is to try and avoid the trigger, right? And you avoid the trigger through aversion tactics, right? You don't have the stuff hanging around your house, you don't go to your local pub, you don't hang around so much with your drinking buddies, or if they're drinking buddies, if your mates are drinking, you just don't hang around with them at all in the beginning. I from personal experience, I know that the long term is a different story, but you're going to change in the long term, and by the time you get to that stage, if you're working on the other areas of your life, the other lifestyle changes that you need to make, then these drinking buddies are not going to be your buddies for much longer. And it's a sad thing to think in the moment, but in the long term, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for you. So avoiding the triggers in the first place is sort of one of the most effective ways of avoiding the cravings, because if every time you go out into the kitchen you see a bottle of wine sat on your counter, right? Every time you go out there, it's going to be on your mind. If you go out into the kitchen, every time you open the drawer to get out a spatula for making your eggs or whatever it is that you're doing, and you see the corkscrew in there, or every time you open up the cabinet and to take out a normal glass to drink some water out of it, and you see your wine glasses there, these are all triggers, and they might not be conscious triggers, but they're going to fire off underneath, and they're going to contribute to the cravings, and all these things add up. So if you can, get this stuff out of your house from the beginning, before you even start this. Start as you mean to go on. And really, essentially, what you're trying to do overall in this thing is to make it harder and much more difficult for you to drink in the first place, right? And you want to make it easier to go on to your new life. So say that your new life involves exercise, going to the gym. Say that part of your routine used to be finishing work and going home, right? And having a drink straight away. And part of your new routine to overcome this is to go from work to the gym, right? And it's very possible, right? You might not think it is, but I used to do Taekwondo years ago, and the only time I could do it was after work. So when I worked in Ireland, I was working in the forestry, and small country it was, I was doing a very specialised job of cutting paths through forests that had reached a certain age, between 14, 20 years old. And that required me to do a lot of travelling. So, sometimes I'd travel for an hour and a half, maybe anything more than an hour and a half, and I'd stay down there overnight. You know, if it was a big job that I had to do, if it was a one-off, then obviously I'd come back. And my son, one of the things I did with my son back then was taekwondo, and the classes started at 7 o'clock. So, you know, I didn't really have much chance after a full day's work. So I'd start in the morning, leave 6 o'clock, I'd be on the site by 8, start working. I'd finish by 4 or 5 o'clock, and then drive home, and I'd probably eat on the way home. And by the time 7 o'clock came for the start, I'd pick up my son and go straight to the class, and I'd be knackered sometimes. But once I got in there and I started training, that tiredness just used to disappear, and I used to feel great. I felt more energetic coming out of those classes at 9 o'clock than I did going into them, or I did in the morning sometimes, you know. Obviously back then, these were nights that I wouldn't have a drink, and maybe I'd have a drink afterwards. I'm not really sure, I can't remember. It's a long time ago since we did those. But I'm just saying, it is possible to do these things, to fit these things into your life. What I'm saying is that if you have alcohol in your home, right, you're making it easy for you to switch onto the alcohol when you're in a bad mood, when you've had a bad day, right? When you've just heard some bad news or something like that. If you've got alcohol right next to you outside in your fridge, it's an easy decision, very quick, to just go, that's it, I'm going to drink this alcohol now. And then, you know, whatever, how many days you've gone, I've sort of, you know, it can give you a bad feeling, you know. It's not a good thing anyway. But if you don't have that in your house, you've got to physically get up, go outside, get into your car, drive to the off license, come back, and all this kind of stuff. And you've got time to think, you've got time to put it off. You know, you might think, well, I'm in a bad mood, but I can't be arsed going out, you know, so this is all going to stop you from doing that. You know, and don't think that just because you feel now, well, I'm in a good humour about this, I'm feeling strong about this, and I know that if any of those urges strike, if I do get into a bad mood, that I'm not going to give in, because you don't think the same way when you're in a good mood as you do in a bad mood, right? When you think about your future in a good mood, you think it's bright and rosy and everyone around you is lovely. When you're in a bad mood, you think everyone's a bastard and that the future is not that great and you're stuck in a hole, and you know, all these bad negative thoughts and stuff like that. So, you know, don't count on the mood that you're in now to decide for the mood that you're going to be in later on, if that makes any sense. So what I'm saying is it's important to get rid of all the triggers, all the triggers that are going to fire off your cravings as quickly as possible before you even start. You know, and it's a tactic, right? It's not the be all and end all, right? You're going to be in rooms with alcohol, right? You're going to be in rooms with alcohol when you're in a bad mood. And those times you're going to have to rely on your inner strength, right? On your willpower. But if you don't have to rely on your willpower, then what's the point? You know, don't do it. So that's the topic for today anyway. If you have any questions at all, any comments, leave them down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Share the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then please subscribe. Come on over to the website and sign up for the newsletter. You get a daily email if you want it, or if you prefer to get a weekly email with all the videos that we put out that week, then you have that option as well. So until next time, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, keep it out of your life as much as you possibly can, you know, out of your home, out of your workplace. Keep the alcohol paraphernalia as well, all the reminders that are going to remind you of alcohol out of your home. You know, sometimes you're not going to be able to do this because you have somebody in your house that drinks as well, right? And you know, it's not their responsibility to look after you. You know, you can ask them to do it if you want, you know, and if they want to do it, then fair enough. But you know, it's not you know, it's two people's houses, you know, it's two people are living in the house. So anyway, you can do what you can. That's all we can do, you know. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Good luck.